Hey guys, it's Mark. I'm just going to go through some of the new features for Smart Notebook 11, the software upgrade that all the Smartboard computers have on it. And this is made by Smart Technologies, this presentation. I'm going to go through it and kind of highlight the most important features that we might use on a day-to-day basis. Alright, the first one is the new Adaptive Toolbar that all of the new software has on it. And basically you'll see the toolbar up here along the sides, and the toolbar provides shortcuts to the commonly used objects, tools, and properties that you'll use. Now, the nice thing about it is little drop-down areas right here, so you can select within the property or tool. Also, this toolbar is fully customizable. All you do is hit that up there. Say I was doing tools, I could drag out my arrow if I didn't want it and put in my calligraphic pen. So you're able to drag and drop tools. Let's take that out because I definitely need my arrow. But what I can do, I'll take out the shapes and I'll put the crayon in because we'll use the crayon later. Okay, now, throw that in there too. So that's my updated customized toolbar on here. It says, remember, you can still find additional properties in the Properties tab and in the Objects drop-down menu right over here. So that's the new updated tools. We go to the next page. They also have what's called Activity Builder, so you can create some interactive lessons. There's a lot of features to this, but the one they did, I'll just show you quick. It's called What Do Horses Eat? You can drag and drop the foods over the horse to feed it. Now the cool thing is, they made this lesson so if a student went up and said, oh, horses eat candy, put it in, nothing happens. The candy goes right back. But if you were to say, oh, horses eat carrots, watch what happens to the carrots. The horse ate the carrots. Watch what happens when you do the cupcakes. It doesn't eat cupcakes. What about the apple? Right into the object. And the nice thing about that is if you're doing a sorting activity or something similar to this, the icons actually disappear. You can always reset it, but for the students to use. But for purposes of this, you know, the objects aren't just sitting on top of the horse like they used to be, or for whatever it is. Alright, another great feature in Smart Notebook 11 is the ability to open your internet browser without leaving your notebook file. Basically what you'd have to do before is you'd have to have two separate windows open. And now with just a click of a button you're able to open the internet right within your notebook file itself. So I'm going to minimize this and I'll bring up a blank. Make sure this has my pictures on. Some pictures you're going to see in a little bit on it. But basically all you do is this. Let's delete these out of here just for purposes of this. You're going to go to Insert on your blank notebook or in your notebook whenever you have it open. And you'll see Internet Browser right there. Simple as that. There's your Smart Notebook Internet Browser. Okay. This little arrow will bring your toolbar or your address bar to the top, where you could just make this whole window smaller, but I like to just do that. You can go anywhere on the internet from here. So let's go to Google. Say you're in the middle of a lesson and you needed to add some images right to your computer screen. Or have the kids add images to your computer screen, that you're able to do that right while you are within your Smartboard notebook file. Let's go to Images. Carrots we could do. Say we're finding pictures of vegetables. Carrots. Maybe some celery. And then we will add just an apple to it and see what happens. We'll create a little lesson. Alright, just like that. You click, drag, drop, you're done. So when you want to get rid of this window, you can just click in the corner and hit delete. It'll delete the internet window out of there. And then you have your pictures on there. And just say you were doing had your kids pick those, doing a lesson on circle the fruit in the picture, take a marker, circle the fruit. Again, just a reminder, I'm doing this on my computer. If you were doing it on the whiteboard, they would pick up the marker and use it, or select the color ink from up here, and you could also use your finger to make the circle and things like that. So that's the internet from the actual Smartboard file. Just remember, go to Insert, Internet Browser, and it appears right in your notebook file. Alright, I just wanted to take a minute and show you the activity builder that we talked about a little while ago. And basically what it allows you to do is create simple activities with dissolving or fading objects in them, or some other properties you can give them, but it's more interactive for the students and engaging. Let me show you just a little quickly how to do it. First thing we have to do is have objects. So I'm going to go to the internet like we showed before, internet browser. And let's just take a tree. We'll go to Google and we'll take the image of a tree. And like I said before, it's as simple when you're within the notebook to take the picture, you simply drag it out. There you get apples. Take oranges. I'll take a cat. Alright, so I got my pictures. Now you could have that done beforehand. I just did it now again to show everybody again how to do the images from the internet within the notebook. I'm going to delete that, organize my images a little bit over here. Again, when your images are on the screen, you can make them bigger. I'm just going to have the tree there, and then over here we'll have our cat, our apple, and our orange. All right. Go back to Activity Builder. You have to identify the object that's going to accept or reject the other objects. So that'll be my tree in this instance. So I'm going to click on the tree, and I'm going to edit it by making this my activity object. Edit. This is shaded, meaning that is the activity object, the object you're dragging the other objects to. And now it's as simple as adding to these categories. Accept these objects or reject these objects. If the objects are in this box right here, they'll be accepted by the tree. If they're in this box, they'll be rejected by the tree. So this gets a little bit tricky. So basically take your objects, I'm going to drag them over to here, accept the cat. I'm sorry, I want to reject the cat, I want to accept the cat. Bring your apple over. You're going to bring that cursor right on top of that puzzle piece right there. I'm going to accept the apple, and the same thing with the orange. Click it, drag it, and accept it. Now the neat thing is, you'll notice this is my builder mode. This won't be on here when the students are doing it, but I have X and check marks next to these showing which ones I have selected as objects to accept and reject. So I'm going to go back to my mode up here, get out of builder mode by hitting done. Now this activity the students can complete. I can move these anywhere, they're still going to have the same properties. Okay. If your activity was what grows on trees, have the student bring an apple over. Does an apple grow on a tree? Sure does. Does an orange grow on a tree? Sure does. Does a cat grow on trees? No, it rejected it. A cat does not grow on a tree. It moves it right back. See how that works? Like I said, there's some different features you can do rather than having objects fade or bounce back. So I'm just going to show you quickly again on different things you can do with this. I mean, you can explore with it. That's the best way to learn. Again, highlight your activity object. That's going to be what accepts or rejects the objects. So I'll select my tree. Collect edit. That'll accept it. And this is what I had before. Exactly what I want. I want the apple, and I want the orange, and I want the cat rejected. Now I'll go to settings though. Before I had this as the objects would fade out if they were accepted, and I had that they would bounce back if they were rejected. Okay. You can change to spin, so if it's accepted it'll spin, or if it's rejected you could put none, and then so if it actually grows on the tree, or we could put bounce back, either one. If it grows on the trees it'll spin, if it doesn't it won't do anything. Okay, so that's done. Let's just play with that now and see what it looks like. Okay, here play. Cat, oh nothing. The apple, does that grow on a tree? Yes it does. The orange grow on a tree? Yes. Cat, no. Apple, yes. Orange, yes. Of course, different things might work better for different activities, but you know, another fun thing you could do is if you identify your classmates, you could have a picture of class 5 over here, all the kids' pictures, and then if they spin or stay that they're in your class. If they don't, they're not in the class. So you can do many different things with it, but it's just a neat thing that smart technology is built in as another way to create lessons for you. Alright guys, a couple more of the features we're going to look at that's new in Smart Technology 11 are have to do with the pens, the markers up top. And again, I'm using my mouse and my keyboard on my laptop for this, but that would just transfer over to the board if you were to use it with your students or doing whatever. The first one is the Crayon feature. The crayon you can find right at the top. Again, if it's not there, you simply have to hit your toolbar over here, grab tools, and drag the crayon into there. But since it's already in there, we don't need to do that. And the crayon feature is just a kind of a cool thing. It's exactly what it is. It's a crayon. It draws just like a crayon. Over here, you can change the thickness of the crayon. Clicking that little down arrow right there. Make it finer. Changing colors here. There's a lot of different options. The neat thing about the crayon is if you were to ever do a coloring sheet, you know, you used to be kind of stuck with the pens and the markers. Now if you wanted to, you could have this set already. You could have all these set. You know, you can make a whole file of different coloring sheets. But if you were in there and just wanted a quick activity for your students to do, you simply could go to the browser. I'm going to have to bring this up a little bit so I can see it. Go to Google. And just for purposes of this, we'll do, I don't know, ABC coloring sheet, images, and you'll get a couple of different, you know, different ones on there. You know, if I was taking my time with this, we could find full-size ones and things like that. For now, we can just drag that right into the desktop or the open notebook. Let's go up and close this Google window. That way we don't have that open and blocking our work. Take our little bee bear, you can make them bigger like that. Again, if I did a full page, it would be a lot clearer looking, but you get the idea. You could color the worksheet right on the screen with the students. So that's the crayon feature. Again, it's pretty cool, something different, and it looks just like a crayon, I think. So I like that update. Also with the pens, they offer different creative pens in the Smartboard 11 update. And if you were to be on your normal pens, it'd be right here with the inks and the thickness and the transparency of the ink. If you were to click up here, there's a little pen with a little squiggly next to it. Click on that, and that offers you some specialty pens, creative pens. Basically, it's different funky inks. Kind of cool. You can use. They call these stamps. You can still write with them. A neat thing I used to do when I was teaching in my class was if we were working on touch math, I would take the smiley face or a different one of these stampers, and the student would go right up and touch it with their finger, count 1, 2, 3. It's a neat way to do it, something different, interactive. The other cool feature here that they offer is if you are in creative pen mode, which I am, and you go over to this side right here, you'll notice an A, some color, some lines. You can here choose some different features. Line style. We're going to do line style. It says right here, use the default pattern, which I'm doing right now. I'm using one of theirs. Also, you could create a custom stamp image, which is pretty cool. So if you click that, it'll let you browse on your computer to find any pictures. Yesterday I saved this little picture of a dog and cat right here. So if I clicked on that, again, that could be a student's image. That could be a preferred item for students, something reinforcing. It comes up right in there, and I'm going to save that because that's what my stamper is going to be. It's not going to be smiley faces anymore. It's going to be this custom stamp image from my desktop. So if I save that, and then I come over here to write with it, it's going to be my stamp that I just chose, which is little dog and cat. The neat thing about that, if you had student's image and you were doing touch math, you could do 1, 2, 3. If you had larger images, you could do some nice sorting with it. I mean, it's quite simple to get a bunch of images at a quick time in there, make a kind of cool picture. But it's just another neat feature for creative pens to use a photo on your computer or an image on your computer. So that's a neat feature that they offer in the Smartboard 11 software. Just another neat feature we have also in the inks. It was there last year as well, but it's a little easier to access this year. It's called the disappearing ink. So if you just were on, we were just on creative pens up here, we're going to go to our regular pens or regular markers down here. We'll just select black and we'll write a number in black. So there's the number 3. Alright, and the number 3 stays on our board. If we wanted to get rid of that, we'd have to erase it. If we wanted all the kids in the class to come up and write 3s, we'd have to erase that 3. Or once the board was filled, erase them all and start again. However, the nice thing about the feature over here, if you click on this little feature we did when we were in Creative Pen, you're going to see something called Fill Effects. So if you click Fill Effects right there, this box says Enable Ink to Fade after you write it. If I check that, it gives you time up to 12 seconds, 2 to 12 seconds. So you might want to, for some of our students, make that a little longer duration. If a student's in the middle of writing it, you don't want it to just start disappearing because it would take away their work, and I'm sure it could be extremely frustrating. For purposes of this, we'll leave it at 6 seconds. I'm going to save that here. So while I was in my marker, I moved to this little tab here to Fill Effects and set it to 6 seconds for fading. Now if I go back here and I write a 3. Here's my 3. Okay, nice job writing your 3. The number will start to fade now away from the board, just like that, without needing erasing. If I came up and wrote my name again, I'm using my computer. After 6 seconds, what I just wrote starts to fade, beginning with the first letter. So another neat thing you could do with this, if you had, working on word families, you could simply put blank AT. That could be in non-fading ink. It's going to disappear in a second. But have the students come up and write B in different words that belong in the word families, that would fade and leave you with the blank AT again, so they could actually keep filling that in. It's just a quicker way to do it, something neat. It's kind of a neat feature. So that's called the disappearing ink, and it's under the tab over here when you're in the regular pen setting. Sound Recorder is also a new feature in Smart Notebook 11. It allows you to record a short sound clip to attach to an object on a page. You used to have to bring files in from an outside source in order to attach them to the files, but right now on Smartboard Notebook 11 you are allowed to record something and attach it to an object on your page as well, which is kind of neat. I'm going to go to my page out here. And just show you a couple ways this could be used. If I just had my pen and I had the numbers all written on the board already, again, a lot of times you'll have these lessons already created before the students are even there, which you should actually, so the students could engage in them and not waste time creating them. I have my number 3. Okay? If I were to click on my 3, I have an option in here under Sound. I'm going to click on Sound. You'll see a sound to play. That's when you used to have to attach a file to it. If I click on Record Sound Clip, I'm going to start recording. That is the number 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice job. And again, I did that, assuming you might have some objects you're putting touch points on there for touch math. But again, you could record anything. You could simply say that is the number 3, however you want to do it. So I did that. All I'd have to do is hit Attach Recording, and it's right there. If I were to click on that, that is the number 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice job. That sound clip stays right there, and it will also move. If I were to move this object anywhere, that sound clip's attached to it right there. Same thing if you're working on sight words. Again, I'm using my keyboard to do, or my laptop to do this. I have the word the, okay? Do the same thing. Sound. I'm not importing anything. I'm going to make it my own. That word is the. T-H-E. The. And again, I just did that quickly. You could have it say anything you want. Just simply say the word the, have them spell it, whatever you want to do. And now I attach the recording again to that, and you'll see it right down there. So if I was to go play that, that word is the, T-H-E, the. And just imagine if you had sight words written all across the board, you know, one of the students can go up. If you say find the word the, if he touches it and it's not the, it's a different word. It makes the Smartboard a little more interactive for the students. It also makes it them not as dependent on the teacher in the room. They can kind of solve the problems as they go and follow the direction and find the word that they're looking for. There's a million other uses for it, obviously. I saw one where students were working on an animal lesson and they attached themselves making animal noises and attaching them to the pictures on the screen. Also, you could have the students' faces on there. Each student could have a sound icon, and you could say something that their favorite item is, and it's kind of a neat thing. So press the sound and find out what Mark's favorite food is to eat. So it's kind of a real cool thing on there. Another nice feature. Again, it's Sound Recorder. It's under Insert, Sound, over here, or if you're on the object itself, you'll get this little arrow. Go down to Sound and start recording. So just play around with it and have a lot of fun. Okay, we went through a lot of the features. I just wanted to go over on the left side quickly. Just a couple of reminders. Of course, here is where you have your pages. You can see the list of pages that you have. We'll jump down to this one. This is for any files or attachments. This is what we'd use to use a lot of the different pen features when they were opened. This again was that activity builder. If you go to the back here, it looks like a picture frame. It's a gallery, and the gallery has a lot of different pictures. You could search up here for something. We go airplane, and you'll get some pictures of the airplanes. It's good to have images right at your fingertips if you wanted to drag and drop them into your lessons instead of searching on Google for things or things you know that might be copywritten that you don't want to violate copyright laws for. You have a lot of different things. You probably can find most anything right within this and drag and drop them right into your actual lesson. The Smart Exchange access is right here also. If you're unfamiliar with that, basically it allows you to visit a web page, exchange.smarttech.com, for lesson activities and digital content to use in your classroom. You could search different lessons, share something. They also have standards correlated lessons now, which is great, and it's also a place where you can connect with other teachers. So we're going to go to exchange.smarttech.com. Opens up right here, and again, tons and tons and tons of different things you could do on here. Again, these are created and shared by teachers, so you can just be critical when you look at them if it's something you want or not. The nice thing about it, you could download it, mostly modify things on it, and then save it for your own. If there was pictures that you didn't want on there, for instance, if you downloaded this alphabet one, and that was too many choices, you could take some of those out and save it for your students. So all the legwork is done, you can just modify it for your needs, which is kind of cool. Up here, search by subject, search by grade, search by file type. You know, up here there's all the standard correlated lessons as well. Just got to go to your state along this side. It's actually got the New York State core curriculum standards in there as well, grade level and subject, so it's all there. Just go to one of the lessons so I can quickly show you. If you go to this alphabet one, when you open it, it tells you how many times it's been downloaded, how many people have recommended it, and download it right here. It's going to come right onto your computer. And you could open it right up in your window. Alright, now that we have it open, this is the lesson that was created. Again, it seems pretty self-explanatory. There's 26 pages. Each page you drag and drop pictures that begin with a letter in the barrel. Now the nice thing about this is if, you know, for some of our students that might be too visually distracting, if I wanted to, I could go into and take out some of the choices just by clicking on them and cutting them. I can move them around. I could leave two if I wanted to. You can pretty much do anything, and then you can resave it on your computer as your own. Basically, all the legwork's done for you, but you can modify it for the kid, the activity that you need for the students. So that's just an example. Again, there's a lot of great stuff on there. There's a lot of not so great stuff on there, so just use discretion when you're on there and finding different activities. Alright, before we finish up, I just want to show you one more really cool feature under this picture frame here. If you go to the Lesson Activities Toolkit, it allows you to create your own lessons using not only the graphics in the gallery here, but also the interactive multimedia boards that Smart Software has already put on here to make different types of games and things like that. I'm just going to go right down here to Activities, and I'm just going to pick one. There's so many things on here, it's beyond even anything I could show you, or it's beyond anything that I could even get through in a day or two. It's a matter of going in, really investigating it, seeing what other people have made, seeing examples on here, and being creative and just playing around with it. You really can't mess this up. So just for instance, I'm going to go to Category Sort. This is under Lesson Activity Toolkit. I want to make a lesson involving category sorting. I'm just going to use text for now because it's quicker. You'll notice that they give me category sorts already set up interactively in different colors. I'm just going to pick green, insert that in my notebook. Now I have this template. I'm going to hit Edit, and this allows me to set it up. I'm going to label my columns Animals. You could do anything you want. Not animals. Okay. Add a dog, cat, rooster, chicken. Not animals, we might put spoon, house, car, boat. I just did that quickly, but again, what it's allowing me to do is set up the page you just saw. So I have animals, not animals in these choices. I'm going to hit OK, and you're going to see it make it down here. So here's what I just created. Down here are my choices. Now that's all set to go. So when my students come up and do this, they can take these with their hand and they could sort them. Chicken, cat. I'm just going to do it quickly with a couple mistakes in there to show you how it reacts if there's some mistakes in it. So I just sorted these like that. I'll have the student check it. Well, it shows me I got these 4 incorrect and those right. I could reset it and start again, or I could have it solve it for me and it'll show me what the correct answers are. How does it know that? It's because when I was in Edit, I selected whether it was an animal or non-animal. I think about this in terms of activities. When you're sorting and grouping things for alternate assessment, it can become very useful. So again, just go into the picture frame, go down to Lesson Activity Toolkit, and you can look at Modify, Make, Create, has examples. You could do pretty much anything. Another thing you could really do is image arrange. I like this one. I'm going to just take the green one down here, insert that into my notebook. I'm not going to get really into it too much, but what this allows you to do here is you could drag images in, and once they're done, click OK, and then the student can create or figure out the sequence of the items. If you're doing an activity of daily living, you might have a picture of, pictures of the student washing, or somebody washing their hands, a picture of the student doing it. They can go up to the Smartboard and arrange them in the correct order. It's a really kind of cool thing to personalize it. It's already set up for you, so you don't have to worry about creating the template. All you simply do is edit, drag images in there, and you're all set. So again, really cool. Get in there, play around with it. There's so much in there, more than I can even discuss and get into now. But please, if you make anything cool, save it and share it. Alright, thanks guys. Alright guys, that concludes our look at some of the new features on Smart Software 11. The best thing you can do is get in there, just play around with it, and just explore things. This is one of my favorite quotes from Steve Jobs. It says, "So when a good idea comes, part of my job is to move it around, just see what different people think, get people talking about it, argue with people about it, get ideas moving among that group of 100 people, get different people together to explore different aspects of it quietly, and just explore things." Again, you can't go wrong. It's an awesome tool. It's great to use. It just takes some planning, but once that's done, your kids will learn, they'll explore, and they'll love it.